Ketchup. Who here is familiar with America's favorite condiment? All right, you guys like ketchup? All right, now listen close to what I'm about to describe. Fish guts, intestines,
Good energy.
and stomach,
Nice attention getter.
sealed in a jar with salt, left in the sun for 20 days. Does that sound appetizing to you guys?
No.
All right, for the longest time, it actually was a delicacy, and that's where the origins of ketchup stand from. So today, I want to teach all of you guys where ketchup comes from, how it came to Europe, let
Keep your
alone
feet
America,
flat on the ground right
and
there.
how the formula was perfected into the one we all know and love today.
All right, nice introduction,
Now,
Jesus.
first things off. First things off, where it comes from. Now, according to insiders, ketchup started as a fish paste from Asia video published on October 18, 2018.
Okay, nice
Ketchup
visual
originated
aid.
as a thin soy sauce from fermented fish. A region, can anyone guess where this is? Yes! This is a region in southeast China, in a place we call Tao Tan, as modern day Vietnam, which is right here. You guys can see that? It was common throughout Southeast Asia during the 17th century, and it was actually known as Ketchup. Like I said, it was actually known as Ketchup.
Okay.
It translated into an ancient Chinese dialogue meaning brine of pickled fish. Does that sound a little more appetizing yet? No? Now, how it got to the rest of
Practice
Europe,
this
let
little
alone
section a little
America.
bit more.
According to Great Big Stories, A Fishy Origin of Ketchup, video published May 25th, 2016, the British had a colony in
Practice.
what is now
Good citation,
considered
but practice it a
present-day
little more.
Indonesia. Now, they weren't the only ones to indulge in this delicacy. However, thanks to this colony, many Dutch settlers and just colonies from all over Europe were able to indulge and try and develop a taste for this ketchup. And they really liked it, all right? All the settlers that arrived in the 1600s loved it. And they wanted to take the idea back home with them to Europe. However, there's a small problem here, and you guys might be able to pick up on this. At the time, the recipe for ketchup required soybeans. However,
Okay, good job with the
soybeans don't grow in
slides.
Europe. They certainly didn't grow back then, and the trade wasn't there to facilitate that trade. So, people that love ketchup had to come up with a solution to that. So, instead of using soybeans, they decided to mix up the formula a bit and add ingredients. They added things such as mushrooms, beer, oysters, and even fruit, such as strawberry and peaches. I'm gonna be honest, the last two actually sound kind of nice, but this is definitely not your ketchup you guys might be accustomed to. By the mid-1700s, though, English ketchup became a mainstay at the dinner table all throughout. So its popularity was rampant, even in its primitive form. However, there were no rules for how ketchup was even spelled, let alone what
Right, that's
exactly
an interesting
it
slide.
was. There were many different formulas. At the simplest point, ketchup was simply a condiment made of spices. All right? And since there was no clear definition of what ketchup even was, many chefs performed different recipes for different foods. Anything to give spice to things such as meat, bread, fish, all those foods, you can guarantee it, there was a special ketchup designed for that, to give those foods flavor. According to Andrew F. Smith's book, Pure Ketchup, there were over 50 different historical ketchup recipes, including one by a Miss Elizabeth Smith, who wrote the first ketchup recipe to be published in English. As colonists moved west into the Americas, they discovered something that radically changed the course of ketchup. Any of you guys guess what that is? Something that can only be found in the Americas?
Tomato.
Tomatoes! Yes!
Now, you don't want to get
Fun
the
fact,
audience involved.
tomatoes
Just
were
give your
actually
speech.
considered to be poisonous at first, rumored to be, but poisonous they were not. Tomatoes were first introduced in 1812 by a Philadelphia horticulturalist by the name of James Meese. He released the first recipe for tomato ketchup, and it spiraled to popularity. Now, you guys might be thinking, what about Heinz? I grew up with Heinz. I thought Heinz was the first one to make ketchup. That's why they are global dominators of the market, even today. Heinz did not invent ketchup. However, H.J. Heinz was what we call a very lucky man. He was at the right place at the right time. He came out with a good product right at the time where burgers, French fries, and hot dogs were all soaring in popularity. All common foods that taste pretty delicious with ketchup. It was this little happy accident that led to Heinz becoming the monster of an industry that it is. Now, you guys might be wondering, do specialty versions of ketchup still exist? The truth is, yes, they still are. They still exist, many flavors of them. You can find ketchup variants such as truffle ketchup, oyster ketchup, jalapeno ketchup, even ketchup with various tribunal spices in it. They just might be a little harder to find at the grocery store. And according to the New York Tribune in the 18th century, by the end of the 18th century, ketchup was America's national condiment, and it was on every table in all the land. There you go, folks. That's the story of where ketchup came from, how it came to the Europe, let alone Americas, and how the recipe was perfected into what it is today. I only ask of you guys one thing. The next time you're eating your chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs from Costco, you're dipping them in ketchup, I want you to remember one thing. That used to be fermented fish paste.
Okay, overall, a really good job. I think you needed a touch of practice. I would have practiced this probably 5 more times at home. Just a couple minor bumpy spots. Your energy's awesome, your personality's great, well organized speech, all the important parts were there. So I will give you an A on this today. Good job. Thanks for getting us off to a good start.